10 items to buy at Costco this month.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go and get that. Like, I don't need a new hose.
Correct.
Right? But I'll go and buy that new hose. I don't need that flashlight, but I'm like, oh, 3 flashlights. I want that. You're listening to Speakeasy from West Egg Ventures. I'm Amar.
And I'm Kaylee.
Kaylee, I am stoked to talk about this next subject.
I feel like this is your favorite topic. Well, only because we talk about it a lot personally. So
this is my favorite place in the world to visit. And yes, I live in Orlando, Florida, so it should be a certain place with a mouse, but I love Costco.
I am a new member of Costco as of
You finally made the decision to get your membership.
I did. Here's a pro tip. If you are thinking about joining Costco, go on Groupon. I know Groupon's like an ancient artifact, but you can get the membership significantly cheaper, which is what I did.
And you can get a gift card.
You can. And I think like your membership comes with, I don't know, it's like $100 off $200 online order, which seems so aggressive, but I'm going to use it. So I don't know. It's been I've taken one trip, so I can't speak too much about it, but I feel like I have a good sense of like what the game is, you know?
Oh, it is a game. And it is an inherited game for me. It is part of my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, if there was one other place where she could live, if my dad can live in Lowe's, my mom would live in Costco.
Fair.
And she just goes. No rhyme, no reason.
Wow.
She'll just find a place, find a reason. She'll buy stuff just for the sake of buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll meet her Indian aunties group there, and they'll just exchange deals. But I have also become addicted to it. Mother and son hang out at Costco. I go by myself to get gas in the morning. It is my refuge from civilization, even though Costco can get very chaotic and very traffic filled, especially on Sundays when everybody wants a free sample of their shrimp tempura or their dark chocolate, pistachio, whatever it is. It's the best. It is a childhood memory. It is something that it's not a cult, it's not a community, but it's something in between, I think, that has totally consumed our society. It's the best place. It's $1.50 or $1 hot dogs, $2 pizzas. It's those giant warm chocolate chip cookies, and and the best people. Like, they're the nicest people, and you can feed an entire family. If your family could be fed, my family could be fed. It's the best.
I fed my family for $9. I was flabbergasted, and my husband was like, "Yeah, that's Costco. Like that's the whole deal. Like that's the reason I came was to get the hot dog." And I was like, I was aware that it was affordable. I wasn't aware that I would be able to feed my family lunch for $9. So that was a very pleasant surprise. But yeah, I think it's interesting because I was not a Costco family growing up. I feel like you were either a Costco family or not a Costco family. So I don't have a sense of like nostalgia or connection to the brand or any sort of real affinity to Costco as a brand. Everything I feel like I know about it is very like driven by social media, especially in the last year or so. I think you nailed it with the community piece. I feel like their CEO, their messaging, everything that they've stood for over the last year and a half, I feel like has really drawn a lot of new people to the brand. I think these days people want brands, especially if you're buying things consistently, right? Like groceries or household items, things that you need over and over again. Like, people want to feel like they're spending their money with brands that care about them, that understand them, and like they are part of a community. I feel like Costco has done a really good job of building that, but also maintaining it. And there's a lot of different factors to that, but that is one thing that I've noticed where it kind of feels like it's so emotionally connected to the consumer now in a way that a lot of brands, especially in that space of like groceries, home, essentials, just aren't. So it's been pretty impressive to watch.
And let us not forget about the greatest food product of all time, and that is the rotisserie chicken. I don't think there's any item in civilization that I talk to you more about than the multiple uses of the rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure how healthy it is in the long term, but you know what? It is the most flexible food you will ever have. You can eat it in any other way. It can last you for multiple days. You can make soup out of it. You can make salads out of it. You can make sandwiches out of it.
Hmm.
It's under 10 bucks. It is the greatest deal that you will get. And I think even though they may lose money on that item, it's one of
Yeah.
the great secrets that they do with their dollar hot dogs is that they just allow you to get caught up in the ecosystem and it becomes this sort of like place that you need to go to. I mean, I'm flexing right now because I'm wearing a Kirkland shirt.
Yeah. I feel like Kirkland brand is so interesting to me. And I know we'll dive into it, but Kirkland brand, it's like, what other store, like generic brand, really has the trust of customers the way Kirkland brand does?
And what they do is it's on everything. It's everything from like
Yeah.
wines to detergent to any type of food product. You know you're getting a stamp of approval. I mean, this is a good shirt. Like I don't even
Yeah.
have to go to the dry cleaner to get it in perfect shape.
That reminds me of this shirt. It's like a tie-in to the K-pop Demon Hunters episode, but it reminds me of the shirt that Jinu was wearing in Soda Pop. And I feel like I saw so many like Jinu cosplayers for Halloween. So if you're looking for that, Costco, clearly, apparently.
And I think it's one of the greatest like private labels of all time. What I heard and what I read in I think it was a New Yorker piece is that the Kirkland brand has more revenue than Nike, right? It's
Yeah.
generic. It's like as you said, it has that quality of brand, right? And anything they do is that the brand runs deep, right? It's
Yeah.
from the vodka to the wine to it's just I don't mind flexing a Kirkland branded
Hmm.
shirt because for me, Costco's cool.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of Kirkland branded hats. Like girls will wear the hats or the canvas tote bags or like things that you would otherwise assume would come from like a fashion or accessories brand, but they're like Kirkland Signature branded, which is so funny to me, but also just like really interesting. And I think like you think of other store owned brands, right? Like I'm thinking of like Great Value. Is that the Walmart one? Yeah, like I think there's ones at Target that feel quality, but it's like I'm not gonna wear something with that logo on it because I'm not connected to that brand in any way. And I think in a lot of ways, those store owned brands, they feel, especially right now, when like I said, a lot of people want to feel like there is this like trust with the brand that they're spending money with. I feel like there's not a lot of people who would want to publicly advertise for companies like Target or Walmart or Amazon, like all of those brands that have kind of fallen out of favor in terms of just like brand trust and loyalty, where people actually want to be advocates for them. Costco is one that has just maintained the highest level of advocacy. And like these people are almost ambassadors through Kirkland Signature, not even just Costco, but like their brand, which is so interesting and such a weird case study that I feel like it speaks to all of the decisions they've made piling up where people feel like they want to advocate for it. But it's so interesting to see out in the wild when I see like a girl wearing like a ball cap that has Kirkland on it.
Yeah, but it's such a weird, as you said, it's a weird, but it's such a like, and maybe because I'm, dad of two, and it's like it's that thing that I love now. But when you go to a Costco, you are entering like an adult Disneyland, right? And it's a price club, right? It's a
Yeah.
membership. There's nothing innovative about the model, right? The model's been around, for years, and Costco wasn't the first. I think it ended up evolving from the Price Club and from
Yep.
FedMart, and then I think the founding was in 1983, and it was the guy who founded it started as a teenager working for one of these other places, and it all became about. I think for me, it was all about it's sort of it was affordable for people.
Yeah.
It was all about the approachability. It was all about people wanted to work there. People wanted, and it was very simple, right? It's crates,
Yeah.
it's bulk.
Yeah.
It's a really smart model, and I think it just became this jug for me growing up. I grew up in the world of like convenience stores and gas stations, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we did have we did have wholesalers who would come and sell us stuff, but most of the time I'm riding around in a cart with my parents all through Costco, right? They used to sell all sorts of items. I mean, it was like those like, cigarettes, it was like,
Yeah.
it was it was baseball cards, it was candy, but I remember that smell, and so
Yeah.
there is a tinge of nostalgia that I have. But as you get older, find new reasons to go there. And I think what Costco has done is just maintained a really solid brand all these years, right? Like they source the best items now. They have a
hmm
variety of things. I mean, what about you? Like, what's been that one thing that like draws you to, and why do you think it's just succeeded so well?
I think for me, what made me want to get the membership is primarily just being able to, like, as groceries get more expensive, it's like, how do you find ways to then like spend less by buying in bulk? So for me, it was a lot of like the meats that I can buy in bulk, things that I would otherwise spend far more on. But I
Yeah.
think when I got there, what was really cool and interesting to me is that it almost felt like, I know we were saying it's not like a cult, but it definitely felt like a club. And it is in terms of like a literal membership club, but it felt like there's a way of doing things in Costco that people who are Costco members understand and know. And it was interesting to like observe the behavior. And like when we were getting our hot dogs, there was just this like stack on a cart of just empty boxes, presumably just like product boxes that things were shipped in, that were just out, and people were grabbing them to put their groceries in. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. Can I just take these? And the guy was like, yeah, like whatever you need. So we took some boxes, like stacked everything in it. It's just like these little nuances to the Costco experience that make people feel like they're included in something. And I know this is not the same, but it's the same feeling I get when I go to like Trader Joe's, right? Because
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of similarities. It's have a large variety of items, but have like one type of that item, right? Like don't have 50 brands of ketchup, have two, three, and like make sure those are like the quality brands or whatever. Trader Joe's is a lot of its own labels, but it's the same thing. Like I always say, I'm like, if you don't know how to navigate Trader Joe's, please don't go on a Sunday, right? Like go on a Tuesday afternoon, go figure it out, go like get the lay of the land, because it's confusing. Things don't make sense where they're at all the time. And on top of that, it's just like you're inhibiting the people who really truly understand and love Trader Joe's. So I feel like I'm an insider there. The same way at Costco, where I'm like, go into Costco with a strategy, but
Oh yeah.
also like there's just a way of doing things. And when you get into the flow, it just makes you feel like you're part of something, which is so silly to say about like getting groceries. But I feel like that is a big part of why people like it and keep coming back, is they feel like they're in on something.
Even from like a content perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think a brand like Costco does? And in terms of advertising, it advertises itself. And when you have,
Yeah.
like, as you were mentioning before, you have these sort of media ambassadors. Like, there's this one guy I follow called the Deal Guy, and he's got a following on YouTube of over 1 million subscribers, plus probably near 2 million now. But he does like 10 items to buy at Costco this month, right?
Yeah.
And it's like automatic watching material for my wife and I. He's just a dad, tells bad dad jokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like all these items that he keeps mentioning, you're like, I want to go and get that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need a new hose,
Correct.
right? But I'll go and buy that new hose. I don't need that flashlight, but I'm like, oh, 3 flashlights. I want that. And
Yeah.
it's that like desire to have these like cult like things. And you were mentioning before, some people have a strategy when you go to Costco.
Yeah.
Some people just like the treasure hunt. Some
Yeah.
people like, let me just roam the aisles and find something that I really don't need or
Don't
don't
need.
want. But
Yeah.
then I want it, right? They had a
Yeah.
golf cart that they were selling for $15,000. I wanted that golf
Nuts.
cart. I
Yeah.
realized I wanted to survive my marriage, so getting a golf cart was not an option. But they'll have something like they were advertising this pistachio chocolate, Dubai chocolate
Yeah.
popsicle. And I'm like, I want that. And
Yeah.
so I knew it wasn't healthy, but it looked so good. It was only like 15, it was like 18.99 for 15 bars. And I'm like, all right, I'm hungry. I deserve it. And I'm going to go and
Mm-hmm.
get it. Right. But you just end up spending, you go there like, all right, I'm only going to spend $100. Then you realize you
Yeah.
spent $500 and you don't even know what you bought.
Yeah, yeah, I that did happen to me. Not quite 500, but certainly close. And I think I like that you say treasure hunt. I think it's so interesting the way the store is organized, or maybe lack of organization in some areas. Like I didn't find it hard or challenging to identify the things that were on my list that I knew I needed. I needed to go find them. A lot of grocery items, right? I was able to like go find everything I needed. But it's interesting because like they will weave in the most random things in the same aisle as like grocery items or whatever, right? Like so it's half organization and half like the treasure hunt chaos of like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go buy milk, but on the way I see this thing that like not only do I not really need it, but I can convince myself I need it because it's priced well and
Yes.
I might need that thing. And then on top of that, it's like such a large store that where if I'm in like Target, Publix, whatever, like, and I see something and I'm like, like I'll think about it. It's easy for me to circle back if I decide I want it, go grab it. The problem at Costco is like mentally, I'm like, I am on one corner of the store. If I don't see this thing right now and put it in my cart, I am not coming back to get it. So it's like this feeling that I might miss out if I change my mind down the line. And I certainly am not circling the whole store again to come find that one thing because A, I won't remember where it is. And B, it's just going to be a lot of work. Like it's a lot of people. It's a big store. So like it's this like treasure hunt aspect of like when you find something you should grab it, and again it's like the price is so good that like you're standing there and you're like, should I get this? Like you had the golf cart, I had the like sauna that I could put in my garage where I'm like, it's only $1,300, like that's a great price, we should get a sauna. And my husband's like, what are you talking about? Like we came here for $150 worth of groceries, we're not getting this. I'm like, okay, but I was
Yeah.
close.
I like every time I go in, I'm like, I want to buy a 100-inch TV.
Yeah,
Oh, and it's like they have like all these different models out, and the way they place items, as you were saying it, there doesn't seem to be logic at times, but there is a
yeah,
huge like science behind the way they place things, and because what it does is you covet these items that you really don't need, and like like what I was mentioning, like the deal guy, right? Then even if you go on whether it's TikTok or Instagram
mm-hmm,
stories or YouTube Shorts, there are these people that have created cottage industries about
yeah,
here are the five healthiest items that you need to get at Costco, right? And it could be some trainer or some nutritionist. And there's that one guy, Bobby approved, where
yeah,
you got to go. But people have made like I mean, like we've always talked about riches in the niches, but
mm-hmm,
Costco is one of those where, and I think a lot of like different media industries are created just
yeah.
from this sort of like obsession with particular products, right? Like Costco probably has like a cult following when it comes to people who consume that content.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that's the thing is and it really is so unique, especially right now. Like I keep kind of hammering this point of like people want to feel like they trust the brands they shop with. I think that is more true this year and last year than it has ever been in history. And I think that's one of the things like I think in our preparation for this episode, I was seeing that there was a price increase on the memberships. I don't think it was high, but it was enough, right? But I think that those types of things don't cause pushback or create upset customers or members when you have all of this trust established with them, right? Like you have the CEO, like I don't know, half-heartedly maybe, but being like, we're not raising the price of this. I will kill somebody if we raise the price of this hot
Yeah.
dog, right? It's hilarious. It's funny. It like makes people feel like he gets it. It's similar to like the Arizona iced tea guy who's like, it will never be more than 99 cents, right? Like you have to feel like the person that is the face or like the spokesperson of the brand has your interest in mind. And I think that's one thing that they've done incredibly well to the point where I think most people that shop there do understand that like the memberships are where they make money. Like everything else, the margins are pretty low if they have margins at all, right? We talked about the chicken, like that rotisserie chicken has no margins. Like they might lose money on certain things, like certainly the pizza, the hot dogs, all those things, like those don't make them a lot of money, but the memberships do. And so I think when you build the trust with your customers and the transparency of like what makes the brand money, what allows them to sell these items at a lower cost, like there was a lot of messaging when I was there as well around like why they keep those costs low and like how they choose suppliers and like what makes the suppliers for Costco the right fit for Costco. And if a supplier tries to increase prices or do XYZ, they're no longer a supplier at Costco. So it's this constant reinforcement that they know and care about the people that are members at their locations. And I think that helps people feel not upset when things like memberships raise in price, because I think people understand like things are more expensive. The cost of things is going up. It is expensive to operate stores. But I think without having that, like all that work that they've put into not raising prices on things and to being transparent and to communicating effectively, like I don't think that would have gone over nearly as well, right? Like I don't think it would have been, business ending, but I think you see a lot of backlash for similar things with other brands, but I just think people trust Costco to have their best interests in mind. And so that extends when things become more expensive for the customer.
Truly, and I think they don't. I don't think they look at their customers as shoppers. They're
No.
fans,
Yeah.
and I think when a Costco opens up, right? People are lined up, camping out like their concert tickets, right? And
Yeah.
and Costco, like they also, I mean, think about the industries that are fueled. And the one example that New York article was talking about was salmon and how like,
Yeah.
they ended up, Costco's like they changed food, I mean, seafood markets were changed because they decided to go
Yeah.
with one supplier or another supplier. And so there's this like there's this incredible level of trust that they have built up, not only for their customers, but for their employees. And I
Yeah.
think it's become like, I mean, it's just a normal ritual, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's like, people are like, oh, we're going to go on a road trip to Costco, even if it might not be one in town. And, if you go there, you're definitely going to see like, I always see Indian people there, like myself, right? Shopping. And
At
then there's
least 50% of the demographic was the Indian community. I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is truly like a gathering place.
So I have like it is a place that I mean the fandom that
Hmm.
Costco has created. I mean it is when you have a great product, when you have great employees, when you have an aspiration of what people are looking for,
Yeah.
you create that level of fandom. I think there was a couple that would go around to all the Costcos around the world and they ended up writing a book. And I think one of the
Yeah.
interesting anecdotes was that like pretty much everyone who lives in Iceland is like a member of Costco, which
Yeah.
is like bananas. So it's almost like a public utility.
Yeah, hilarious. I think that's probably their biggest asset when you think about marketing, branding, awareness. Like I think there's not a person that doesn't know what Costco is, but I think the value of it is inherently in the people that are talking about it. And they do it so effectively, like in so many different forms and in ways that are so specific. And it serves so many different niches. Like you're right. Like the content that I see from Costco, it's like, oh, how to get, how to eat high protein at Costco, or like, here's six options for whatever. Or like, there's people who just make Costco fashion content, like, which is also very interesting. And so it just serves so many different niches. So it feels so organic to the people that are creating the content about it. But that is easily, I think, their best asset when it comes to just driving memberships and awareness of the brand, is just the people who are literally ambassadors.
And I think that's the beauty of, of different companies and different startups and different organizations that are looking to build that level of fandom is,
Yeah.
have great customer service, create products that people want, and then the value that you create is the love that your customers are going to have, and then they're going to reciprocate in ways you'll never know. And I think that's what's so awesome about what Costco I think has been able to do.
Yeah, I agree. I also think the last thing that comes to mind is most recent news of the employees, right? And I think there's a lot of stories and narrative around how great it is to work at Costco, not just from like pay, benefits, treatment, the ability to stay there and to grow within the company, I think is a really big one as well. But I think recently, I don't remember if it was just one location or multiple, but they made the decision to unionize. And I think I loved the CEO's perspective on it, because whether you agree or disagree with the unionization of employees, I think his response to it wasn't, we don't support this, the typical like business CEO response. It was, we need to figure out what in the working conditions caused this to happen. Like we support their decision, whatever it may be, even if it doesn't align with what we think is the right move forward. But we need to figure out what in our locations caused them to feel like this was a necessary next step. Which again, I think just goes to show that like that doesn't just affect employees when that messaging is put out, it affects customers too, who see that and say, okay, great. Now, again, not only do I trust you to look after my best interests when you're choosing suppliers and you're pricing your items and all of that, but now I also trust you to treat the workers that work in your stores well. And I think that goes a longer way than people realize a lot of the times in the business side, is that that is what creates that trust. And that was just a very interesting like recent event that happened. What that was kind of all over, but I really loved the response to that.
Yeah, they've done a great job with community culture, despite
Yeah.
whatever happens. All right, so last question is, we talked about the rotisserie chicken, but
Yes.
what is your favorite Costco product?
Okay, so because I've only been there as an adult for one shopping trip, I I'll pick something from my childhood because even though we weren't a Costco family, we did like occasionally for longer vacations, my parents would go there and like stock up. And we used to get these things and we would vacation in the Florida Keys. And so it was very like tropical island on the boat. And they have these things in the freezer section that are like little sorbets or
Mhm.
sherbets. And they're in like whatever their flavor is, they're in the respective like shell of that fruit. So like there's a
Yeah.
coconut one, it's in a coconut thing. They have a lemon one, it's in a lemon. And it's so cute. And I was so shocked to see them there. Not only like see them there, but like the same branding, the same packets, the same like look as when I had them as a kid. So I really like enjoyed that piece of it. It was just like very fun and nostalgic for me because that was something we always had every year. But I'll have to report back when I like actually go and start getting into like the real like Costco specific items. You have a few, I feel like though.
Oh, I have a laundry list. So I'll just name a couple right now. They have this like Noom sauce, which is like this
Yeah.
garlic sauce in a yellow bucket. It's like under $10, and it is the most flexible
Mm-hmm.
item you can use. You can use it in your sauces to make it creamier. You can use it in eggs. You can use it as a marinade. It is by far like the best thing I've ever had from there. Um, Obviously I love that chocolate chip cookie,
Yep.
but they also have a great uh, fried chicken patty.
Okay.
And it's their Kirkland brand, and it is on par with like a Chick-fil-A.
Oh my gosh. Frozen?
And it's frozen,
Okay.
and then it's a totally solid purchase. And then they also
Love
have
that.
a salmon, which is like this, like it's like a six-piece salmon, but it's like in a marinade already.
Okay.
Another great. Oh no, no, I'm sorry, not that salmon. It is their pesto butter salmon, which they make fresh,
That sounds so good.
and you just throw it in the oven, and it's like and it's all under like 20-25 bucks, where you pay like $50 or somewhere else,
Yeah.
but so good. Um, that reminds me, I have an empty gas tank, and I need eggs. Costco is the next stop for me today.
Love that for you.